So yeah, guys, I sort of said this last week, and some people weren't comfortable with it. And if that's like the sort of case this week, we won't do it. But I was also thinking like it could be nice for people like if you fancy it, like chatting about like how we're dealing with quarantine, like how we're feeling, like what's going on. I think it could be quite helpful to put it out there. But also, if you guys don't feel comfortable with that, we can just like chat privately or whatever. Everyone seems cool. So I feel like Dan would be a good one to start with if you're comfortable with that, Dan. And also like guys in like Suter King Kurt as well, like you know, we got, I consider you guys friends kind of thing. We all know each other. Like, I'm curious to, yeah, like, I hope you guys are doing okay and everything given the situation. So, let us know what's been going on, how you've been dealing with it. It's difficult for everyone, right? And same sort of, if anyone comes across this stream afterwards, I don't know if people are actually going to watch this later or not, but let us know in the chat as well. Like, I think it's really good that we can all sort of support each other in any way we can. So, yeah, so Dan, go on.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bob will certainly know this because me and Bob have spoken a lot, but I found it really fucking hard. I've really struggled. The last 3 days is really the first time I've been like, actually, this might be okay. I got really apocalyptic about it initially, and I was a fucking mess for the first 3 weeks. I'm with my parents, and I just was like crying on my mum, and it just really fucking blindsided me. But I think I'm at the point now where I feel like lots of good stuff will come out of this. Because I think, I speak to a lot of people who were like maybe a bit apathetic about life before this happened. And I'm like, yeah, I probably was. I was probably getting a bit bored and a little bit kind of taking stuff for granted. So to be at the point where like you really appreciate a fucking hug or the fact that I can't see you lot and I'm just so desperate to is just a really good thing. And when we get out the other side of it, like it's going to feel so weird because we'd have been through a time when we couldn't go into town for a walk, we couldn't see our friends, we couldn't have a hug. So I'm trying to be philosophical and just think it's that classic, like what doesn't kill you make you stronger type thing, that if we can get through this, I actually think a lot of people who live with anxiety, and pretty much I do, might actually feel a bit better at the end of this because they're like, if you can get through that, which basically took everything away in one go, like stability, friends, like my chorus, all the stuff I like to do, and still be fine, is like only a good thing. And I have to be grateful. I'm with my parents and I get fed and I get my washing done for me, and like I'm pretty well looked after. But fuck, I feel like a 12-year-old boy.
Oh, that's really nice to hear, though, Dan. Not necessarily, actually, especially the last bit, just because, like, you have found it really, sorry, you have found it really tough, and I was like, that's really nice to hear because I think there definitely are positives in every sort of rough situation, but also I think it is important to say, like, yeah, like we have all been pretty up and down, right? Like, although like there's definitely positive things to focus on, like there are definitely tough times as well. I also wanted just to quickly say, going through the chat, like Sutikin saying he stopped him moving into his new flat, which sucks. It really does. And he's considered vulnerable due to asthma, allergies, and immune system. So I can't leave my parents' house. So I relate. My anxiety has been tested to the max, Dan. Yeah, it's really difficult. And Kurt saying he's gained weight. He's not happy with how he looks. His mum's a Tesco worker and she's working. That's concerning. Dad's stressed out. And about that, and I hate not working. I fucking miss a gym. I really need a hug, to hug a man. I know, Kurt. We're sending you virtual hugs. Yeah, yeah. I think it's important for everyone to share their stories. So who wants to go next?
Oh, yeah. I would say the first week of quarantine, I was put through the ringer because I lost a friend to COVID who lives in Belgium, or lived in Belgium. So that was also in the same week as the anniversary of my dad's death from last year. So that week was tough. The first week was really fucking tough. And it was not really anything to do. It was just everything on top of each other. It was like, okay, let's just do everything in 1 week instead of leveling it out. But in general, I'm okay. One of the things I'm really grateful for is all the work I've done on me in the last 4 years. If I'd still been in active addiction right now, Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine what I would be doing right now. I would have been completely nuts. So, in the greater scheme of things, it could be a lot worse for me. Have I had bad days? Yes. but I have a great support network. I have a job that supports me. We have free counseling through work. So I did a one-to-one counseling session yesterday, which was really, really great. It was nice to kind of talk to a stranger and kind of go through things, and I also kind of get another person giving me compliments, kind of going, well, Ralph, you're amazing. You are tackling this really well compared to all some of the shit you've been through. And I was actually open to take those compliments. I'm not very good with compliments, but it was really nice to hear.
That's really sweet as well. I love you guys. That's really good to hear. Yes.
Me. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was just like, oh, Ralph. One thing that you just said, like, oh, I have very good support from my company as well, but they haven't discussed anything in regards to counseling, and I think they would be very supportive with that. So I'm actually going to reach out to them now that you said it and ask if there's anything at the moment that is being offered, because yeah, I think people will be even more. Not just for me, who, you know, I've done therapy all my life, but like people who haven't done it before and might be struggling now, it might actually turn out to be a very like sort of silver lining on this situation. It might open up for people who still think therapy is a bit of a taboo to kind of like go into it maybe virtually first before they see someone in person. And yeah, I think it's actually, yeah, it's actually a good idea. You gave me a good idea to reach out to HR and say something. Sorry, yeah, boy, you can unmute yourself.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you though. That's literally what my counsellor said to me a couple of days ago. Is it's kind of put everyone in a level playing field in terms of anxiety, because literally everyone's anxious at the moment generally, and actually it could have a really big shift potentially in terms of like society and the way people view counselling. So I think that's a really good point to make. Sorry, continue.
No, yeah, I just think I hadn't even thought about that before. Oh, it's just so hard not to focus on like all the hard fucking things, and you feel like for me it's been a mix of like guilt and like gratitude that I have, like for having such a good like position in like professionally that, you know, allows me to work from home. They send me my chair, like they're amazing. And like I can work from home and it doesn't change anything, and you feel grateful and you also feel concerned for like people who don't have that, and then you feel guilt because you're like you want to do stuff, but where do you start, what do you do? And if there's anything that, you know, if you guys know about anything that we can do to help, please, like, you know, send your options, your you know, your recommendations. That would make me feel really, really grateful. And yeah, but at the same time it's important to remember that everything now, like we're alone, we're on our own. And first things first, you got to take care of yourself. You can't take care of anyone else or help anyone else if your mind is not in a good state. So I think the priority needs to be your mental state. Like, don't feel guilty all the time of all the things that you're not doing, or other people that you're not helping. Like, that's not good for your head. Once you're okay, then you can do other things and you can be productive and you can help people, even if it's just your mom or your family. That's good enough. Anything is good enough. Just getting through is good enough, I feel like. Yeah, and I'm just grateful for what I have, and every day it's like yesterday it was a bad day. It was a very, very bad day. But then today I'm here with you guys. I'm happy. I feel good. I feel grateful. I feel blessed. Too blessed to be stressed. So you never know. You will get out of bed. You will be fine. And this will be over. So yeah, that's my message.
Cool. Are you looking banging AF today? Dan, I'm going back to you.
I think Yaz just said something about like looking after your mental health, and I think I've really struggled, and I'm so lucky to still have a job and to still be working. But fuck, is it hard to motivate yourself some days to like get up and pretend that that's normal? And I read something online last week which made me just kind of go, oh, thank you. And it was something that just says you are not working from home, you are at your home during a crisis trying to work. And it's just so true, because I feel like there's an expectation that I've got to still be like I would have been at the office, when actually, like, it's a fucking wrench to get up and like, and because I'm in HR, like, I know about all the employees' relatives that have died, and one of our employees died in America, and like, I'm having to furlough people at some point, and it's scary, and you have to kind of always be reminded of this is a big thing and it's really impacting people. But yeah, I think that's just a really important thing to remember, that like work is important, but our mental health is more so. And also, I've been doing a lot of guided meditation on YouTube, and it's really good before I go to bed and when I wake up. And I've been asleep till 11 o'clock today and yesterday till 11 a.m., which I never do. So that's good.
Nice. Bob, I'll go to you.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I really appreciate everything you guys have just been saying. Like, because I think it was weird, because actually, as you're saying, I'm like, this is exactly what I've been thinking. Like, so actually, you know, I hadn't previously thought of myself as being that anxious a person, even though I knew I was a pretty anxious person. And I think what's been really interesting about this, kind of like what Yaz and Dan were just saying, is I kind of was like, oh, you know what, maybe therapy is probably something I should, like, or counseling or something, is something I should look at some point in my life. And it was kind of like always, maybe I'll sort it out another time. And it's weird, because as much as I hadn't thought I was that, I think people do that thing, don't they? I think always thinking like, oh, like, it's not big enough. Like, I'm not like, oh, you know, it's just little old me, I'm just being a bit whiny. Actually, no, this is a real thing. This does affect me. And so, for example, I don't think I've told all of you this, but essentially last week, maybe, there was basically a fire in my dad's shed and our neighbor's shed as well. We're still not sure yet if basically like it was intentional or not. But anyway, it shook me up in quite a big way, even if I didn't want to admit it at the time. And I did bury it, which is why I haven't told most of you guys, because I just kind of didn't want to, like, it just kind of, I couldn't stop and think about it, because it would make me too anxious to function, almost too anxious to function. For me, it triggered a lot of old things I have around. I've kind of told a lot of you about it before. My dad is a massive hoarder. Our whole house is basically just paper, cardboard, dust, wood. Like, it's very flammable. And I've had anxieties around that since I was about 12. And again, had massively buried that, hadn't really thought about it. So the shed, I just had this whole thing of like, fuck, like, there's going to be, it's not actually going to be COVID that kills us. It's going to be this fire. And so I got into this whole thing about it and slept really badly, and then just was really only half in it for a couple of days. And I think I kind of buried that under, you know what, I'm just a bit sleepy and just a bit whatever, and didn't really address it. And then I realized, kind of like Dan and Yaz have just been saying, I've kind of been doing this for years, like, with a few things. And I think this is actually weirdly one of the odd silver linings to come from this, is to kind of actually be face to face with like, no, Bob, like, these are things that are actually holding you back and affecting you in a big way, COVID-19 or not. Like, you need to address some of these. And like, also just massively want to say like, thank you to you guys. It's just been like wonderful over the last like couple of weeks to just be like, I'm feeling a bit shit, and people just be like, I love you, you've got this, go do it. I think as well, I really want to follow up. Sorry, I'm just rabbiting now. I really want to follow up what Yaz has just been saying as well. Like, I think I had this whole thing in my head, as a few of you know, I'm a bit of an eager overachiever kind of type at times. And so I was just like, right, this is great. I've finally got time to do this novel, like finish this novel I've been writing, and I'm going to do this other novel, and do all this reading. And I just started getting into these things, and then feeling this weird guilt that I didn't do all of it. And I think what's been really helpful for me recently, for the last few weeks, has just been to really stop and think Actually, okay, like Dan was saying, I've got a lot to be grateful for. I'm in a really privileged position. I have the safety and security of many things that mean we're okay. I'm living with my parents. I can check in on them, make sure they're okay. But aside from all of that stuff around feeling really grateful for all of that, I think it's also just been like giving myself a bit of like time off to kind of be like, okay, Bob, you did about 3 hours of anything that, probably about 2 hours of anything approaching work today. That's okay. Actually, you didn't have that much to do. You did what you needed to. You can pick up any other stuff tomorrow. This is not like, you're not working at the UN. This is not the most important thing. Are my parents safe? Have I done things to keep them safe? Yes, I have. That's good. I can go to bed and be fine with it. And I've just been really trying to just be like, actually, like you guys said, like focusing on mental health. I had a massive sense of guilt when the whole NHS volunteers thing went out, because I thought, like, I have the time to do this. I also live with 2 parents in their 70s, so I'm not doing this. And I'm not actually in the mental state to be able to do this. And I had to really hold my own hand and be like, do not fucking feel guilty for not being one of those NHS volunteers, because you are not in a position to help. Like, not mentally, not physically, by the fact I live with 2 parents who I cannot risk being out for extended periods. Even when I go running, I feel quite guilty coming back. Like, this is really selfish, but I know I need that for my own sanity. So yeah, thank you all for being amazing. Sorry, I've just really hogged the last 15 hours of this chat, but I really, really appreciate it. And like, you guys are bloody wonderful. So thank you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I keep getting to unmute everyone, including myself. I think what's really nice about all your guys' stories is like, you know, like I said, we've all found it challenging in different ways. Like we've all gone through some rough stuff. Like Ralph, especially. Like I'm really sorry to hear about, you know, losing your friends and all that. Like it's, you know, we've all gone through like difficult times. Like, you actually had a really rough day yesterday. I had a really rough day as well. Sorry, Ralph, I'll unmute you.
Yeah, I want to echo. I just read what Sudikan said in the chat. I'm really sorry to hear about your 2 friends, and one NHS worker in coma. That's awful. That's really sad. Yeah, I'm really feeling for you.
Yeah. So I was just about to bring it up as well. But that's what. But what I was going to say as well is like, you know, despite all the like really difficult aspects of this, like you guys all had something positive to say as well about yourselves and about the situation. I think that's really nice. It is an ongoing journey. Again, I feel we will have down days and times where it will seem worse, but also I think other revelations and other times where it will seem more positive as well. And you know, as Dan and I have been saying, like we will get through this. Like it's just the shit for the time being. It's shit for everyone. But you know, like when you go through something really rough, like a breakup or like losing someone, like it's really, really, really difficult. It feels impossible initially, but like it's cheesy. But time does heal. Like we'll all be fine in like X number of months, like, you know, X number of years. We're like we won't give a shit about this time really. Like if you know, it won't be difficult for us then, you know. So I think it's just a case of doing what we can. And like as you guys all said, like it's okay to be a bit selfish to prioritize your own mental health at this time. I really think that is the best thing we can all be doing, really. And if you can give more than that, then absolutely great. But don't feel bad in any way. Like I think, sorry, I forgot who said. I think it was Dan, right? Like that. I think the thing, especially, like we're not working from home. We're going through a really difficult situation, and like as Bob said as well, like, you know, we should be proud of ourselves for sort of anything we do in the end. Like this is really difficult for all of us. Don't be like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Like if we get through the day, like with mental health not horrific, then I think we're doing all right, you know. Like I said, like there's more important things which again everyone's sort of realizing as well. Sorry, Ralph, I'll unmute you.
Someone pointed out to me, because there's a lot of like, you have to go out and do exercise, you have to be baking, you have to be doing all these things when you're staying at home to entertain yourself. It's okay just to sit on your ass and watch Netflix. That's perfectly fine as well. If that means you are okay, perfectly fine. You don't have to do all the things they're telling you to do. It's a suggestion online to do some exercise, mainly because we're not moving around as much as we used. When they say exercise, it's like we normally take like 10,000 steps a day. Now we're more or less just doing like, I'm walking from my desk to my kitchen and that's it. So that's why they're saying exercise for the circulation. But a lot of people are spending time with their families and baking and putting it on Instagram and so on. And you feel a little bit guilty. You're not doing anything and you're just sitting on your ass. But to be honest, it's fine. It's a weird situation to be in. So whatever your reality is and whatever you want to do with the time, that is your time. And you don't have to be forced to do all the other stuff all the other idiots are doing. So yeah, don't let that stress you out.
Yeah, no, well said. Sorry, I think we all laughed towards the end because you just saw Sutik's message. Also very true. I was going to say something else, but it's just throwing me off. That's the other thing about the exercise stuff, as Ralph just said, and also like Kurt was saying as well. Like that's the other thing that we're all feeling a bit rubbish about ourselves as well. I think that's important to acknowledge. Like, you know, again, like everyone's like out on Instagram, like nothing's going on. They're still like, yeah, like trying to be healthy, doing all this, like never felt better, doing all this at-home exercise and like eating healthy. It's like what? Like none of us can get decent food. None of us can exercise. Like I needed to go to the gym to force me to actually look after myself a little bit. Can't do that anymore. I'm going to shit. Like we've eaten the same like meals every day because it's hard to get hold of stuff. Like, but again, like I'm not focusing on it. There are more important things in the world. Like I feel a bit shit about myself, but we all do. Like there's more, you know, there's worse things going on. Like I don't know. I think there's loads of different ways it is difficult for everyone. So yeah. But also I think Kurt was saying earlier on, like it's helpful for him to like have these kind of chats. I think that's super cool as well. And I'm definitely happy to do that more. I think like something for me that I know you guys know that I haven't like talked about here is like the way I deal with things that are difficult for me. Like saying back to teenager is like escapism. So I was like heavily into MMOs and stuff. I was going through a bit of a rough time as a teenager, just like live a whole different life online and just only ever think about that. So for me, that's kind of like the way I've dealt with it over the last few weeks. And I think for me, it's like maybe far less social because my friends are the most important thing in my life. And I think I find it really difficult. Like I can't actually see you guys. And so, like, because of that, it just makes me sad. And so, because of that, I kind of just shut myself off. Like, I've barely been talking to friends. Like, I've been avoiding all sort of like group virtual hangouts and stuff. And instead, just focusing on my immediate world, like, trying to engross myself in like games and TV shows and that, which probably isn't like the healthiest thing. So, like, I'm feeling like a bit of a shit friend as well at the moment. Like, I just feel like we're all kind of like, I appreciate you guys saying that. As I think we're like, I feel like we're all just, it's just like difficult in different ways. So many different ways, you know, for everyone. But on that, but sorry, going back to what I was just saying, but Kurt said this kind of stuff helps, and I think it's helped us all. I think it's super nice. I really appreciate you guys like saying all the stuff you said as well and being so open about everything. And like, if we can help people in any, even like anyone in any way by doing this, I think Kurt's right. Like, we should try and do this more often, right? Like, it's not like we've got time to do it, and again, no pressure. Like we can just like try and do a couple of streams a week. Maybe I got this laptop. We could do like some Jackbox party with you guys, like Kurt Sukin, whoever fancies getting involved, cause like whoever's fancies it. Like I'm up for putting more effort into that now. Like I said, like we'll all have down days and days we don't fancy doing it, and we should push ourselves to do that. But yeah. So sorry, Dan, I'm gonna unmute you.
All I will say is no conspiracy theories. Hey kids.
What is that? Is that Truth is Alchemy? I think he's hey Truth. I think he's like jumped on here because he's looking for live chats to like share his views. Yeah. So yeah. So I guess that's kind of where we leave it today, right? Does anyone else have anything they want to add? Bob, I'll unmute you.
Sorry, just like the little keen puppy in the corner, like, listen to me. I just wanted to follow on from what Grant was saying. I think like it's totally natural as well in this moment to kind of only really be able to focus on what's immediately in front of you, because I think we have all kind of gone into a bit of a survival sort of state of mind. And I know that for me, like I found it, I feel like I've not like in work, I feel like I've had more video meetings than I've ever had normal meetings in my life. And like, I also feel like so many people are getting in touch, which is so lovely. Like it's really great to reach out, and we shouldn't stop doing that. But I also think sometimes you just cannot emotionally deal with that. And like, you know, you've got like 30 messages from people, you know, Mr. Popular, no, like 30 messages from people, all kind of being like, oh God, are you all right? Let's check in. And actually sometimes you can't mentally deal with that. I just saw that comment. Yeah, I'm not going to acknowledge it. But like, I think sometimes it's difficult to emotionally deal with that, because actually every conversation feels like you're rehashing, like, oh God, I've got to keep engaging with thinking about the things that are scaring me so much. And so I think sometimes it is quite good to just be able to be like, you know what, okay, like I'll get back to that person a bit later. They're not going to worry if that is the case. And thank you, Grant. And I also just like, I mean, I know you don't necessarily need us to say it, but I also want to say, like, Grant, you've not been a shit friend at all. I think all of us probably have that guilt at the moment that we're not doing enough or not being enough. And I think, like Yaz was saying earlier, I think we do need to like let that go. But I think, like, I know that for all of you and for other people as well, that we've got each other's backs if we need. But at the same time, we also need to look after, like, you know, we need to have a bit of time for ourselves as well. So yeah, none of you have been shit at all. If anything, you've been wonderful, just because I know, like, how brilliant you all are and how, like, you're all going through your own bits as well. So yeah, please don't feel guilty about that.
Thanks for saying that, Bob. I appreciate it. Sorry. Yes.
This is a final note. I'd like to announce that I am Truth is Alchemy. 9/11. Your hands out of the Open your eyes, people. Goodbye. Love you guys. I'm just kidding. I will enjoy my Netflix. Thank you very much.
I kind of love him for that, to be honest. So yeah, okay, guys. So also, sorry, I just want to say as well, like, Kurt, I'm sorry you have such a rubbish time. I have been reading everything you've been saying in the comments. It's really rubbish. Like, hopefully, work will like be a bit better about things. And I like what I say is, like, I know it can be expensive, but if there's any way you could afford counselling yourself if you need to, I think it could really help. But maybe it doesn't necessarily have to even be every week. Like, maybe, you know, every so often when you can afford it, kind of thing. I really would prioritize that if work won't help you out with that, or your dad's contact. See you again, proper funny. Love that for you. So yeah, so okay. I mean, like I said, like, I think it would be cool to try and do more streams and hang out. Like, if you guys can make it, it's awesome that you guys made on such short notice as well. So yeah, if you guys fancy more streams, we just like hang out, just like talk about how we've been doing the last few days. Like, I'm up for that. We've been doing it anyway. I know I should make an effort to do that more generally as well. I'm happy to do that, like, in this sort of format if it helps other people in any way. And also, like, play games like Jackbox Party and stuff. Like, that'd be fun. Like Suited can Kurt, whoever fancies can get involved in that as well. So I'm down for all of that if you guys fancy it. Cool. So yeah. So sorry. Any sort of final thoughts does anyone have on anything in particular? Bob. Okay. Cool.
Sorry, I will stop, like, at some point. I just really wanted to, like, send some love towards, like, Sutukin and Kurt. And I think we had someone else as well on briefly, apart from Truth is Alchemy. Just to kind of be like, actually, it's so lovely to have you joining, like, you know, it being this kind of community with you guys. And it's actually genuinely, like, a pleasure to see you every time. So yeah. All right, Grant. But yeah, it's genuinely lovely. And yeah, please do continue to, like, chat with us. Like, I think our social media have been on some of them before as well. So if you do also want to reach out and, like, chat individually, like, do let us know.
Bob just, like, fully trying to get those dick pics to get him through quarantine. And I respect that. Honestly, I respect that. No, as I say, I consider you guys friends. Like, you know, I really appreciate you guys joining us, hanging out and everything. So yeah. So what I'm going to do then, I'm just going to unmute us all and we'll just say bye, right? And then we'll do a stream sometime soon, hopefully. Cool. Right. Everyone is unmuted. Cool.
Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.